And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show, all about helping you understand your buying decisions, making you more street smart here. We want to be that consumer advocate for you here in Tampa Bay to help you avoid a lot of the commission-based advice that's so prevalent out there in our community, help you save time and money. A lot of times when it comes to your business dealings, whether it's an attorney, CPA, financial advisors, home services, we got great tech experts, self-defense experts associated with the Consumer Quarterback Show. You can find us online at consumerqb.com, and we always like to feature our real estate listings live on air. We'd like to feature our properties. We got a co-listing up in North Carolina. This is 530 Heaton Forest Road in North Carolina. Beautiful property that we've got co-listed with Bill DeVore and his Keller Williams team. It's a $10 million listing from the Platinum MVP team, our highest price listing to date. Beautiful property up in the mountains of western North Carolina. 530 Heaton Forest Road, Cashiers, North Carolina, just outside, about an hour outside of Asheville. You got 8,080 square feet, 19.69 acre property, magnificent country estate in the mountains of western North Carolina. The home features breakfast porch, patio, 4 fireplaces for those cool mountain evenings or mornings, attached 2-car garage, 2-car carport, expansive stone driveway space, as well as a guest house that has 3 bedrooms and a sitting room. Beautiful property right here in Tampa, or in North Carolina, that is, Cashiers, North Carolina. And we also have other properties listed. Another $1 million property at 2803 Safe Harbor Drive in Tampa. This is a $1.159 million listing of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 5,253 square feet, 5 bathrooms in this home. And it's a gorgeous estate-style home. The estate's at White Trout Lake. Spiral staircase to the second floor along with an elevator, private elevator. Large master suite, beautiful dining room, granite countertop, new appliances, heated pool and spa, and a large fenced-in corner lot. And beautiful property, an executive-style home at 2803 Safe Harbor Drive in Tampa. And you can see all of our real estate listings at PlatinumMVPteam.kw.com. This is God's country. And let's give a quick shout out to Replenish IV Solutions. If you want to feel energized, hydrated, and replenished, reach out to Stephen and Lisa Gunnan over at Replenish IV Solutions, longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. I go once every 3 or 4 weeks or so and get a vitamin infusion drip, keeping my body feeling good and immune system up and performing at optimal levels. Replenish IV Solutions. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, we got a great lineup. Thomas Young later on in the program, Cons Helping Cons. We have John Paul as well from Designer Cutz Lawn and Tree Service. Talk about hurricane prep. Hurricane season is here. Heavy winds if you've been out there in some of these storms, some of these summer storms that we're getting. And we also have our first guest, Robin INGLES. Welcome in.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Tell us a little bit about CEO Seniors in Service.
So Seniors in Service is a nonprofit here in Tampa. Our mission is to provide solutions to community challenges by engaging volunteers 55 and older. So we're the senior volunteer people.
Senior volunteer people. Cool.
Yeah, last year we had over 1,300 volunteers that helped us in our mission.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
We provide volunteers that do mentoring and tutoring with kids, or help homebound elders or other nonprofits like food pantries with food. And then we also do a lot of veteran support.
Nice. Veterans really need it right now. I feel like you're hearing more and more about homeless veterans and just some sad stories out there.
Yeah, they are really sad stories, and they're complicated stories when it comes to housing. Just this year, we've had volunteers who have helped 28 veterans find housing, go from unhoused to having a place to live, and changing that for someone that they don't have somewhere to live to they have somewhere to live is a huge change in someone's life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So those volunteers are doing amazing work. We have some great stories, and it's important to remember too that veterans come in all ages too. We helped a a Vietnam era veteran, kind of an
Wow.
older guy, find housing, and he's got a job now, and he's settled down, and he doesn't have a car, so we're still helping him kind of get food sometimes.
Yeah.
But just that stability of having housing and having a job, changing his life.
Right.
And then we have two brothers who are young guys, 27 and 28 years old, got out of the military, have some PTSD issues, so they have some mental health issues, but they didn't have a place to live. And the process of there is some help for veterans. They get vouchers that help them pay for some of their rent, but then they still have to find a place. They have to find a place that'll take it. They have to, our volunteers come alongside them and help them find where they can find a place to stay, because often they get the voucher and they're totally overwhelmed. They don't
Yeah.
even know what to do.
Yep.
And so our volunteers are the ones that help them find housing. Those young men
Wow.
now have housing. We helped them get access to their VA benefits, so they're getting help with their mental health issues, the PTSD that
Yeah.
they experienced from their service. So helping a veteran is just, they've given so much to us.
Yeah.
And now that we can give back. So if anybody out there wants to volunteer or help us in this mission to help veterans, it's hugely impactful.
Yeah, and we got a hotline you can call, 813-917-1894. Call or text our hotline, 813-917-1894. You can also email brimes@kw.com, brimes@kw.com. And we'd love to get you in touch with Robin Ingalls. She's the CEO of Seniors in Service. 1,300 volunteers last year engaged with your organization. That's a big number.
It is big. It's a lot of work, but there are people out there who want to help, that have big hearts, and that they will take their valuable time to help others
Yeah.
who need assistance.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. I know you have some people in your audience like that.
That's great. Yeah, I really think so too. We got a great audience out there, and some things as simple as like reading books to people that are home lonely or seniors or even kids, right?
Yes, when we have projects as simple as you can stay home at your own home and write letters to homebound elders or veterans, thanking them, letting them know that somebody out there cares about them and is thinking about them, and kind of sitting in gratitude, and maybe they'll want to sit in gratitude too, and that'll really help affect them. You can do those cards and send them to us, and then we'll get them to the people who are most isolated, who need them the most.
Yeah, I like this one. It says, foster grandparent, be a cherished mentor for many children. A grandparent fills a role no one else can. Tutor and mentor students in a school near your home.
Yeah, that's a wonderful program, the foster grandparent program, where you can come serve in a classroom of kindergartners through third grade, helping them learn to read, working with the same kids, getting them through the school year and getting them up to their grade level, learning how to read.
Wow, that's great. And so you are standing in for Nick with decoratingelves.com, Nick Shriver, decoratingelves.com. So he said, hey, I'm going to be out next week. I want Robin Ingalls to come in and kind of sit in my seat.
Yeah, so shout out to Nick for that, and to Decorating Elves. If you need any help with your landscape lighting, please reach out to him.
Yeah. So the senior housing or the veterans housing, that's an interesting one, right? I mean, I've looked into this. I've talked to county commissioners and said, what can we do? How can we support? And I think, that's a local issue somewhat, but you look at federally, like the money that's being spent overseas and sent to Ukraine, and some of the areas where this money's being spent and put into certain, there's really, for our veterans, like you said earlier, that have gone off, served our country, put it all on the line, and now put it all on the line, and now they come back with injuries and PTSD, mental, and they're just fighting just to have a decent life.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Helping those veterans is a huge deal. And we here in Tampa Bay, we have two big veterans hospitals. We have Bay Pines and we have James Haley. So there are a lot of veterans here, and they're looking for services and looking for help, and the VA is always trying to figure out how to help them better. And so it's often a multi-step process when it comes to housing. They might need help finding a job. They need help getting vouchers for supportive funding for them finding housing.
Right.
So first there's a process with the VA, and then there's another process with the potential landlord.
Right.
And we have volunteers who go out, meet the landlords, become friends with them at these places, and get our veterans on the list. So as soon as they get that voucher, they can get into the housing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big process.
Yeah, it really is, because you got to be first in line. You got to be, ready to go when they're called upon. If you just joined us, we're talking with Robin Ingalls here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. She's the CEO. SeniorsInService.org is the website, SeniorsInService.org. And yeah, so the challenges are housing and then also workforce, jobs. It's another challenge.
Yeah, jobs are another challenge. Yep, finding the right kind of work, and sometimes mental health issues related to their service will prevent them from keeping a job, and so getting them the mental health services is the key too. So keeping them tied in with the VA and staying in touch with them to make sure that they're going to their appointments and then they're remembering to pay their rent. And we had a situation where someone went to the hospital to a psychiatric ward and they needed some help. And without us keeping in touch with their landlord, they would have gotten evicted while they were gone.
Wow.
So that's the kind of stuff that it really helps to come alongside them and help these veterans.
It's almost like an extended family.
It is. That's exactly what it's like. The advocates, the support that a lot of people are lucky enough to have with their families, some people don't.
Right.
So volunteers can fill that void.
Yeah, that's important. I mean, that's the last thing that person's thinking about when they're going in. They're being checked into the hospital for whatever ailment that they have, physical or mental. And to have that other, that family member, air quotes around that maybe, right, with the seniors in service personnel there to say, hey, wait, I wonder if he's thought about this. I wonder if he's paid his rent, electric bill.
Yeah. Does he have any pets? And of course, he's in crisis. He wouldn't think to tell anybody, or maybe he doesn't have anyone to tell.
Right.
So we've done that. We've managed to, gotten support for people's pets when they've gone. So yeah, the things that veterans need, it's a whole list of things. No matter what your interest is in helping veterans, there's something you can do.
Yeah, there's so much there. We've got great loan programs for veterans to help them get into their homes. Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage, one of our expert contributors. Justin Kelly as well, CPF Mortgage, another one of our great expert contributors in the mortgage side. Real estate, of course, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And we always help our veterans too with discounts. If we're listing a property, we'll give a quarter to a half point discount off our normal percentage, as far as commissions go, fee for service when it comes to listing properties. And I know Diane and Justin both have programs and incentives for veterans as well. So buying, selling, or investing, we'd love to help you. And then Robin Ingalls here in studio, CEO, Seniors in Service. Give us some more insights here, or even I love the success stories, where you met so-and-so, you took them from this position to that position and put them in a better stage in life.
Yeah, we work with another nonprofit that helps with the housing where they can stay there until we can find them a place. So they're kind of a shelter, and so they stay there. And we had two young men, their brothers, 27 and 28 years old, getting out of the service, and they just didn't know what to do. They didn't have any skills around how to find a place to live and how to find a job.
And it's competitive now more than ever.
Oh yeah. So we were able to, with another nonprofit and the VA and us, really get around these boys and help them find a place to live, and then get some mental health services for their PTSD. And now they're looking for work, and now they're feeling more solid and more able to care for themselves. And they're going to have a happy ending because all of these services have surrounded them and supported them after their service to all of us. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a key point there. They served us first, so we've got to serve them. Seniors in Service. So you're looking for volunteers. You're also looking for monetary donations. We are, yeah. We have a call out right now, particularly to help with veterans. One of the things, we have a lot of support. Rooms to Go has helped us with furniture, helping with the veterans. They get a place to live, and now they have no furniture, so they've helped us with. And sometimes we have a problem of getting the veteran the housing, and then the donation of things from people, getting them to align well. So we needed money for a storage place and then a truck, because Rooms to Go could help us get on the one day, but then they couldn't help us 3 weeks later when we actually were able to move the veteran in. Okay. So we had to get a truck. So we were doing a big call out to help for financial donations to help us manage that kind of in between time, right, where we have really generous donations from corporations and individuals here in Tampa Bay. Those are always welcome to help a veteran get on their feet. And so the money then would help us kind of bridge gaps. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. So put the furniture in storage and then have it ready for the move-in date.
Yep, it's hard to align when somebody generously is giving us stuff and then to that exact date when that veteran's ready to be housed.
Yeah. So are you a nonprofit organization?
We are, yes.
Okay.
We're 501c3 here
Yep.
in Tampa, and we serve Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco.
Okay. Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco. And you have a support staff helping you?
We do, yes.
Good.
We have a staff of 32 people, and like I said, over 1,300 volunteers working
Wow.
on this.
And that's active volunteers.
That's correct.
Wow. Great organization. That's awesome. What else do you want people to know?
Thank you.
Final
Yes.
thought,
Reach
yeah.
out to us whether you want to give money or time or donations with a veteran who's getting their first home or their first apartment, their first place to live on their own. We need things as simple as sheets and pillows
Yep.
and a coffee maker, even basic things.
Right.
So if you have money to give for that or your time or anything you'd like to donate, we can arrange that.
Okay, awesome. And Robin Ingles, CEO, seniorsinservice.org, online at seniorsinservice.org. And if you want to reach out to the hotline, we'll put you in touch directly as well, 813-917-1894. You can call or text the show hotline, 813-917-1894. Robin, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
My pleasure. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we've got John Paul Guena in the studio, designer Cutz Lawn and Tree Service. Going to talk about hurricane prep. It's that time of year. Winds are blowing heavily. You got these big storms, and it's already that time of year. So we're going to take a quick break. Plus, our feel-good story of the day. Music has the power to do many things. That's our feel-good story of the day. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the real estate quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. Any of our listeners out there, we'll offer you a 2% listing for the first 3 callers that reach out to the hotline, 813-917-1894. Call or text the hotline, 813-917-1894. Also, a great opportunity for folks out there looking for a part-time gig, maybe a side hustle, is Keller Williams Real Estate School, powered by Kaplan. Reach out if you'd like more information on how we have a free real estate school for you, online class, get licensed, and start referring business in, or maybe make a new career. 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com for our syndicated radio and TV show on 80 outlets worldwide, consumerqb.com, or our real estate website at platinummvpteam.kw.com. That's platinummvpteam.kw.com. And please follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram, Twitter, Getter, and check out our YouTube channel, Brandon Rhymes Realty. Make it a great day. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show. Have you desired more income and more freedom in your life? Now is your time. Keller Williams Realty has just launched our own real estate school, and you can get licensed for free. I'm Brandon Rhymes, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And for the first 3 people who reach out, I will personally coach you. 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. ConsumerQB.com. ConsumerQB.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, we're back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, always helping you win. in your real estate deals, when you're buying, selling, or investing, think of us, Keller Williams Realty. We're a top 100 ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay. $2.1 billion in sales last year out of our 3 offices here in Tampa Bay. So we'd love to help you win buying, selling, or investing. And we do that by featuring our listings live on air, helping our sellers profit more and sell faster. We got a property at 1009 Woodley Drive. This is in Clearwater. It's a beautiful property, completely renovated on the interior of the home on Woodley Drive in Clearwater. You're close to the beaches. You are about 1,400, just shy of 1,400 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, only a few miles from Clearwater Beach. You got the chef's kitchen, granite countertops, oversized island, double oven, cathedral ceiling, as well as new AC, and a backyard that's perfect for a pool. Check out the beautiful flooring there, and the photography compliments of Fabre Frameworks, our real estate photographer associated with the program. And just a beautiful kitchen, chef's kitchen updated, close to the Sugar Sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters, a beautiful Clearwater Beach. We also have a property, commercial property at 507 South Prospect Avenue in Clearwater. So this property is a commercial property available for immediate occupancy. It's occupied currently as an attorney's office, and this is about 2,600 square feet, 12 rooms. You got 2 bathrooms, 2 stories. You got office space, rental opportunity. Also, commercial office building near downtown, and it's right off of Gulf to Bay, which is Highway 60, close to the intercoastal waterways there. 10 minutes from Clearwater Beach. 507 South Prospect Avenue in Clearwater, one of our hot real estate listings on the commercial side. And you can see all of our 50 listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
Okay, all right, we're going to go to the phone lines here. We got John Paul on the line. He is the owner of Designer Cutz Lawn and Tree Service. Hey, John, how are you today?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. So hurricane season is upon us, and we'd like to talk about those consumer tips. What would you say to homeowners right now, beginning of hurricane season?
Well, I mean, if you have trees by your house, if they're pretty close to your house, or they need a good trim, you know, give my tree service a call, Designer Cut Lawn and Tree Service. You know, take a look at them. If anything's starting to grow down on a tree, whether it's a palm tree or an oak tree or any type of tree, you always want your trees elevated and cleaned out, dead wood took out, all that good stuff, because if not, then down the road, when you get high winds, like in hurricane season, you will go ahead, the wind goes ahead and grabs them down branches, and it typically likes to break them off, and they turn into missiles, and they will break off and hit windows and so on and so forth.
Right. Yeah, and you've had some close calls recently, and I think even in recent interviews where people have had just that happen, like, you know, trees that should have been trimmed, they didn't, and then I saw some of the pictures that you sent one time. It was showing, you know, going right through someone's roof.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes the homeowners will not know about the tree as well. I mean, it could have a lot of diseases going on inside. So if you ever see kind of cavity holes, which cavity holes is like a hole that kind of looks rotted in your tree, or any type of mushrooms, it looks literally like a mushroom growing on your tree. That's called meloderma. A line in between where the tree splits off, if there's like a line that comes 3 or 4 foot down from where it splits, you should always, you know, take a look at stuff like that and then call a tree service out, because then you have something internally going on in the tree. But yeah, anything on a tree, if they're close to a house, if it's within 10 feet from your roof, or if it's touching your roof, you don't want things like that against your house. You would want to get your trees looked at. Yeah,
exactly. And even fences and pool cages. I mean, it's that time of year.
Yep, everything. I mean, it's always good, even if you are a homeowner and you have trees on your property, free of charge. We come out and give you a free evaluation. Get your trees looked at. It does not hurt to have your trees looked at, because there's something that we might know that you guys have no clue about, because we do this every day, and you guys are just homeowners and take a look at, you know, your trees and say, oh, they're beautiful. Well, something internally can be going on as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to take a quick break there. We come back. John, if you could hold over with us, we'll come right back. I want to get some other tips from you on the hurricane season and tree trimming, and more with John Paul on the other side of this break. Also coming up, Thomas Young, Cons Helping Cons. Thomas has a great story. He, of course, was a con, came out and is now helped over 1,300 convicted felons on their recidivism, reducing the recidivism rate. So helping them acclimate to today's society, helping them find jobs and housing. Cons helping cons. Thomas Young, longtime friends of the program, coming up here. Plus, our feel-good story of the day, feel-good story about music has the power to do many things. Interesting story about Nicholas Peter coming up on the show. We'll be right back after this short break.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Johnny, let me know when you want to proceed. All right, everyone, please stand by.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, members of the Sports and Entertainment division of Keller Williams. Real excited about that. Commercial team as well, commercial real estate properties, and of course vacant land as well. So we can help you with all three: real estate, residential real estate, commercial, and vacant land. Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, online at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, we got some vacant land here available in Tampa Bay. Got a property at 11803 Dog Hollow Lane in Lithia. This is a land listing. It's a great opportunity to own real estate. Build your dream home on this beautiful lot on Dog Hollow Lane in Lithia. It's a gorgeous property that we've got listed here in Tampa Bay. Also, 4220 West Pearl Avenue. This is a commercial property in South Tampa, listed at $964,000 at 4220 West Pearl Avenue in Tampa. It's a great opportunity. Corner lot, 1,200 square foot building as well, mixed use building. 0.6 acre lot, so just over half an acre at 4220 West Pearl Avenue. Great opportunity for relocating a contractor or other type of business. Park your machinery, park your equipment, your trucks and trailers at 4220 West Pearl Avenue in Tampa. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Buy dirt, find one you can't live without.
And yes, we do have dirt for sale as well. Lots of vacant land listings available, about a dozen or so. And going back to the phone lines, John Paul on the line. He is the owner of Designer Cutz Lawn and Tree Service. So, John, what's your other top tips that you got for our listeners out there?
Top tips, definitely give my tree service a call, Designer Cut Lawn and Tree Service. If you have trees around your house, we give free evaluations, keeping trees away from your home. A very good tip is stay with your trees every 6 to 8 months. Give me a call, free of charge. Like I said, it does not hurt just to come out and talk with you for a few minutes and take a look at your trees. You do not want anything close to your house. Oak trees, if they are next to your house within 10-foot structure on them, you definitely want to have them looked at, because there is laurel oaks that definitely have a lot of decay, and they don't have a big lifespan like a live oak. A live oak, they live, hundreds of years. Laurel oaks, after, 170 to 80 years, they just start to deteriorate and fall apart. So, there's a lot of different when it comes to tree service. It just depends on the trees and where they're at, if it's by power lines, if it's by a pool cage, if it's by a roof, if it's overhanging a driveway. Everybody's home is different. So my best tip is give me a call. I'll be more than happy to go to everybody who gives me a call and give a free estimate and give a free evaluation of their yard, property, trees. We also plant trees. So I can help your needs if you have trees in your yard.
Excellent. Well, good stuff, man. Now, one question too. Have you noticed, of course, with gas prices going up, cost of a lot of things are going up. Are you noticing, that affecting your business and your folks?
No, I really haven't seen too much. Maybe a little bit, yes. Gas prices are up, so, a lot of people are putting more money towards gasoline instead of, things around the house. So, I've been seeing it going up, and maybe my business has gone down. Maybe I want to say about 5%, but not too much because we're in the trees and we just keep getting them away from houses and keeping people safe. And I think they're worried about their home more than the gas prices as of right now. But the gas prices is something ridiculously going on right now. Because trust me, because my overhead has gone up now.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, exactly. A lot of businesses are feeling the pinch. Well, we've got some pictures that you put up on your Facebook page on our TV version. So if people are watching, you can see the bucket truck there trimming and getting some stuff done that you posted on your Facebook page there. So we appreciate you joining us on the program, John Paul. And thanks for calling in.
Thank you, Brandon.
My pleasure. All right, reach out to the show. We'd love to put you in touch with all of our expert contributors, local area business owners, and account reps that are here locally in the Tampa Bay area contributing to our community. Reach out at 813-917-1894. Brandon Rhymes at 813-917-1894. And we'll put you in touch with John Paul, designer Cutz Lawn and Tree Service. And then also I want to go back to Robin INGLES, CEO and of Seniors in Service. And we brought up a good point, one of our producers, that reluctancy with some of the seniors.
Yeah, what we run into with this age group of working with older people is many of them say, don't worry about me, I'm fine, I don't need anything, I don't, and so they're lonely, they're isolated.
Yep.
Everything could be fine. You may have a relative, you may have someone who in your life who's older and either needs some help or maybe needs something to do, maybe needs to not be so isolated, maybe needs a volunteer project, or maybe needs a volunteer to help them.
Yeah.
So think about you in your own life. We're not just of course, we need donations of money and time, but we also want to reach anyone who's isolated, any seniors who are isolated who may need help or may need something to do.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So they'll say that. They'll put on that front like, oh, I'm fine, don't worry about me. It's just pride, right? That's just them not wanting to interfere with other people or have them, maybe feel pity against them or whatever it might be, or use their resources to help them. But it's kind of a thing where, it's just reluctancy.
Yeah, and I have other senior volunteers that can help bring them out of their shell, whether they need help or they want to be help to someone else. I have seniors who will invite them who are in their own age cohort, and then I also have other people, younger people who can be inviting, and because we work with seniors all day, every day, we know how to sort of reach them in that place and with dignity, bring them out and show them that there's an opportunity for them. Yeah,
that's right. So seniorsinservice.org, 32 on staff, 1,300 seniors, or volunteers rather, and Robin INGLES in studio, CEO. And so talked about helping veterans, some of those folks that are, in that position of trying to navigate, again, the housing market's really hurting people in this situation because rents have gone up, and once the rents go up, they're somewhat sticky. They stay up, So it's a challenge that people have for rents, and then the lack of inventory that we have here in Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region of Florida.
Yeah, it is. It's a real problem finding the right place for people and to help veterans navigate. There are resources for them, but it can be paralyzing trying to figure out how to find them, how to get help.
Right.
Yeah.
It sure can. Well, thanks for all you're doing out there, Robin. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, my pleasure. So, folks, check her out, her website out at seniorsinservice.org, seniorsinservice.org. Before we go to break, I want to play a quick clip here. Dr. Robert Malone, kind of a switch of gears. With this show, we cover a lot of different categories. This one's a little bit of a different area, but it's something that I see happening with Big Pharma. I want you to listen to this clip from Dr. Robert Malone.
What they're trying to do with the kids is force vaccination for all as low as they can go. And the real problem is the data now are quite clear. Many studies, peer-reviewed in journals like Nature, Science, Cell. The problem is immune imprinting. And what that means is that your immune systems are getting screwed up by the multiple jabs, particularly if you were infected prior to the jabs. And it's just training your immune system to only respond to the antique spike antigens, the ones that aren't circulating anymore. And with Omicron, it's actually suppressing both T and B responses when it comes on top of that. So what they want to do now is roll out, without any clinical trials next fall, a combination of both a Wuhan 1 strain spike as well as an Omicron either 0.4 or 0.5 version, which will be obsolete by then also.
Yeah, so that's Dr. Robert Malone on one of my other podcasts that I listen to kind of gather information. But it's talking about Big Pharma and how they're forcing, the vaccinations now on the young generations, the youthful generations who have virtually no, very little to no opportunity to pass away or die from, these so-called vaccinations. By the way, they redefined what vaccination actually means. So what they're talking about is mRNA data, and he's saying that there's peer-reviewed multiple studies now. The data is clear on it. So what they're doing is screwing up people's immune system. So wanted to just bring that out there. That's a challenging situation, and it's also a next step in the transhumanism movement as well, where they're going to be putting in chips and different things of that nature to track, and also moving into a digital currency. So it's an interesting play. If you get a chance, read Dr. Malone's studies and some of his books that he's put out, because he's right on point with that stuff. But we're going to take a quick break there. When we come back, Thomas Young, Cons Helping Cons on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Thomas Young is a great advocate for prisoners. They go to prison, they come back out, and they have very little resources to work with, but he is a great resource. He's helping convicts reduce the recidivism rate right here in Wesley Chapel area in Pasco County, Tampa Bay. Cons Helping Cons coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, in studio with Martin Gramatica, that is, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer Super Bowl winner. Lifeguard Imaging, lifeguardimaging.com, saving lives through early detection.
Thanks for having me, Brandon. Yes, that's what we're doing at Lifeguard Imaging. You come in asymptomatic, and that's what we do. You're being proactive. You're coming in. We do a scan from the neck to the pelvis. It's a full body scan. It's a 3D image of every organ, and that's where 90% of the deadliest cancers are, in our mid region. So we can see everything. But for your listeners, we have a real good special. We have a $599 value, absolutely complimentary. They can come in for a coronary artery scan, which will give you their calcium score, 100% complimentary for your people.
Very cool. Hey, take them up on that offer, 813-917-1894. Call or text complimentary scan, 813-917-1894, and check them out online, lifeguardimaging.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
Love it. All right, we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Every day we'd like to tell you something positive before we get to our interview with Thomas Young, Cons Helping Cons. We like to tell you something good.
Tell me something good.
All right, so title of this one is Music Has the Power to Do Many Things. So 18-year-old Nicholas Peters is expressing himself at the Patel Conservatory, where he's learning from Matthew Wildmuller at Summer Jazz Intensive, a music camp at the Stratus Center. Music changed lives and is really therapeutic, says Wildmuller. Music has changed Weimuller's life. And he says, quote, I am visually impaired. I'm pretty much totally blind. I can't see except some light and dark, says Weimuller. And he's passing on his passion, his social outlet to younger generations, an outlet of some students and their parents describe as life-changing. For many, it helps to relieve stress. And he says, quote, if I just change one person's aspects, and I make their day that much better and take away maybe some of their stresses and issues that maybe make them forget about some of the hardships they're dealing with outside of here, then I've done my job. And he goes on to talk about in the article how, teens have been playing at this music, this summer jazz intensive music camp. So feel good story of the day. Music can help change lives. All right, we got Thomas Young. Speaking of changing lives, Thomas has changed a lot of lives up there in Wesley Chapel area, Pasco County. Thomas, welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you, sir.
My pleasure. So let's talk about some of those lives that you've helped change through reducing the recidivism rate.
Well, Dave, we've been blessed. A lot of these, we've helped almost 1,700 people now. Only 5 have gone back to prison. And the majority of those 1,700, they're all working. A lot of them have gotten married. They're in relationships. A lot of them are owning homes now. I mean, they've actually gone from being a drag on society to being a benefit on society.
Wow, that's just amazing, man. 1,700. Seems like that number is just growing every time we interview you.
Well, we get a lot of people here in a month. As a matter of fact, I got my first request for help from somebody from Montana the other day.
Wow.
And, yeah, they heard about us, and they actually want to move here because he said that'll give him the help that he can't get anywhere else to get back up on his feet.
Yeah, all the way from Montana. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
So the word is getting out about cons helping cons.
Well, I knew it was out in the state. I didn't realize it was actually out in Montana, which is pretty cool. But, hey, that's all the Lord's doing.
Yeah, that's right. There's a bigger power behind the scenes working to help you with this cause. Are you getting much help from local municipalities or administrators or local leaders?
Unfortunately not, but that's okay, because rather than expend my energy on what I know is a losing battle, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And actually, what we do is very simple. We find jobs for people, and I've got a group of employers that beg for ex-cons because they tend to be hardworking people. And things are starting to equalize out now with housing. I'm able to find people housing. And I love being a mentor to these people, and I've got other people mentoring too who've been in their same shoes. So we've got a pretty simple formula, and I like that because I don't want to have government interference. I don't want to have somebody else trying to tell us how to run things.
Let's talk about that a little bit. So some of the challenges are employment and housing, and you said those are both getting better.
Oh yeah, I can find anybody a job within 24 hours right now because there's so many places hiring. There's such a lack of people wanting to work. So that's not a problem at all. And housing during the pandemic was really hard. Just because there was nobody being evicted, so there was no turnover, so there was nothing opening up.
Right.
But now we're starting to find that their apartments are opening up. They're expensive as all get out. But, we're able to make that happen because the people are working, and they're taking every opportunity they can when they work. They're working overtime. They're doing whatever they can to make their rent. These people are serious about becoming successful again.
Wow, I love that, man. They have a drive. They've got an internal drive now.
Yes.
That they didn't have the first time around, most likely.
Exactly. And the reasons for why they didn't have that the first time around, it runs the gamut from just being in, abusive childhood to hanging out with the wrong gang, to looking for excitement, all those things that distract us from the way. Those are what they went through, and now that they see that the way is better, and when I say the way, I mean, like following a spiritual way, they find that that's a much better life to live, and they like it.
Right. Yeah, we're talking with Thomas Young here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Cons Helping Cons. Online, free to serve on Facebook. Cons Helping Cons, free to serve on Facebook. Thomas Young is you're the director, I guess, or owner there of the nonprofit. Is that right, Thomas?
Yeah, I founded it. Actually, I had the idea for it when I was in prison. The day I got out of prison, I told a case manager about it at Hillsborough County, and he said, well, run with that. And the next day, he had my first person for me to help.
Wow.
So so this has been going on since 2013. I'm the founder and the CEO of it.
2013, and you get some help from your wife as well.
Oh, absolutely, especially with the women.
Yep. That's great, man. That's great. Doing God's work out there.
Yeah.
Cons Helping Cons, free to serve online at on Facebook. That is Cons Helping Cons, free to serve. So, for our audience that may not be, informed about what the recidivism rate is and what's going on with the prisons, how would you kind of summarize what the prison system is and does, and especially on the flip side coming out?
Well, the prisons will tell you that they have no money for any rehabilitative programs. Years ago, I'm talking like 30, 40 years ago, they had great programs in the prisons. They had, you could get your GED and you could become a plumber and you could become an electrician. And they would give you all these trades. Mm-hmm. So when you got out, you had an ability to fall back on. Now, prison really has just become penal.
Right.
There's nothing rehabilitative going on inside the prisons right now.
Right.
So you sit and you just do your time, and that doesn't work. Of course, we know that. Common sense tells us that's not going to work. What's really interesting, though, this dude from Montana that's going to come this way, he was telling me all the programs they have out there. One of them is they teach you how to become a ranch hand, and you actually get to go work on a ranch while you're still an inmate.
Oh,
and they've got all these great vocational programs out there. So I look to see, what's the difference between Montana and here? Well, I see, here we have 90,000 inmates in Florida. Montana only has about 4,000. So maybe that's why they can do things a little bit more personal out there.
Wow, that's interesting. Kind of reminds me of that TV show Yellowstone, where they had the ranch. They had folks coming out there and getting branded and working. And
actually, if you watch that show, there's a lot of ex-cons working at that ranch.
Right. Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Thomas Yunk here, Cons Helping Cons, a local area nonprofit. Are you set up as a 501c3?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so folks can help. They can get involved. You're looking for donations, volunteers?
I'll be honest with you. I never ask for donations because there's such a stigma in this business, and I'm calling it a business, the reentry business. A lot of people go into reentry thinking that there's going to be money to be made, and there really isn't. Because by the time you help these people get on their feet, and they don't have any money to start with, and then once they do have some money coming in, well, of course you want them to move on. You don't want them to stay where they're at,
right?
Because you need to open up that bed for the next person. So there's really no money to be made.
Yeah.
So it's just me. I never ask for money from anybody. I've had people, give us donations just, because they wanted to. I don't ask for it. I don't ever want anybody to think we're in this for the money. And actually, we're doing just fine. No, we don't need the money. I just tell people, pray for us. And I'll tell you, it's amazing how the Lord provides.
There you go. I like that. All right, Thomas. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to play a quick clip here if you want to stay on and hear this. It's talking about migration patterns from New York to Florida and some of the wealth that left the state of New York. I'm going to play a quick clip here.
So how much money has left New York with these folks moving out?
Morning. It's a lot of money. The Times cites $21 billion with a B dollars that flowed out of Gotham over the past few years. And of course, like anywhere else, it's the highest earners who pay the lion's share of the taxes. Now, in 2020 and 2021, that money was largely made up for by federal pandemic funding. But that's drying up now, and there's no indication that Washington has an appetite to turn that spigot back on. So the next year or two could be tough.
Now, New York's strict COVID policies were probably a big factor here. But have the wealthy New Yorkers who left given any specific reasons they chose to leave?
Several, in fact. Some cited the possibility of doing remote work, something more common in high-end labor than the service or blue-collar industries. A lot of people felt less safe on the...
I think that's the key is the the COVID factor forcing people out, the lockdowns, and we saw that with our state, the state of Florida, gaining a lot more folks coming down, of course, from New York, New Jersey, California, Illinois. So remote work was a piece of it, but I think the overwhelming majority was being locked down and forced to wear a mask, especially when you're eating. Some of the restaurants. Between bites, make sure you put your mask on. So, yeah. So,
hey, can I throw in a quick remark?
Please do.
My wife and I were out at Hernando Beach last night going to watch the fireworks, and we went past this one marina that is tripling in size.
Wow.
And that's just since like a month ago that we've been out there.
Yeah.
And we both looked at each other and said, wow, that's the money that's coming into this state from up north.
Right. So one of the marinas tripling in size.
Yes.
Wow. And where was that at?
On Hernando Beach.
Hernando Beach.
Yeah, Shoreline Road.
Wow. Yep. That's exactly right. It's coming down. People are coming down to Florida in record numbers, and you know, a lot of that wealth is coming down here. $21 billion, as the New York Post reported there, of the highest earners leaving New York. So,
well, I read 62,413 people moved down here from New York last year.
Wow, interesting. All right, Thomas, thanks a lot. Keep up the good work out there.
You.
Cons Helping Cons, free to serve on Facebook. And thanks to Robin Ingalls and John Paul as well. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. And we'll see you next time here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rhymes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.